Hey guys, welcome to the Rat Grind. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is June 25th, 2018. So we're going to look at the crypto markets, give you guys some updates on what has transpired today. We're also going to look into Bitcoin and Ethereum, where they could potentially be headed, and some important news that came out just today. So if this is your first time coming to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel, smash the likes, smash those thumbs up, give me your feedback as well. Give me your feedback, comment below, and let me know what you think of the video and some of the discussions that we're having today about the markets, the analysis that I do, as well as some of the news that we're going to be covering today. So please let me know your opinion. Let me know where you feel the market could potentially be headed if you disagree with my input or my perspective, right? So please don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. So if you look at the markets today, crypto markets held its drop, right? It hasn't dropped further from where it has in the last couple of days, especially when it hit the lowest it has. Bitcoin in particular held its own, even though it hit its lowest it has since actually so far this year. And so Bitcoin is showing signs of life based on the technicals, we're going to look at today when we look at the charts. And also Ethereum did bounce, but it's hitting some major resistance on a particular level that we're also going to be looking into. So we're going to talk about that. And from practical coin news, there's been some news. I mean, there was a lot of worry as I was eating dinner and stuff like that about Binance, because a lot of people saw their balance was zero and all that stuff. But there's just a maintenance that they're doing, and I'll give you guys some updates on that as well, because some late news came out just a couple minutes ago before I started this video, and I'm going to give you guys more information about what's going on with Binance. Alibaba, also their Ant Financial, we used to be Alipay, gets into the blockchain space. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and let you guys know that or what's happening there and what's important as far as the innovation that they're putting into this space, especially in the Asian region. And also Andreessen Horowitz raised about $300 million for their crypto funds, or $300 million are going to go into the crypto space, as well as Tether minting 250 more million USDT or Tether tokens as of 10 a.m. this morning. So that's about a little bit over $500 million going into this space just in the last 24 hours alone. So that's really great news. So let's look at the charts and we'll get right onto the news, guys. So if we look at the coins behind me, you'll see that pretty much everything is in the green. So that's always good news. We always like seeing Coin 360 in a green. I like the green background. A lot of the coins, the major coins, had some small gains today over the last 24 hours, although not significant. But stopping the bleeding or cauterizing that wound is always a great thing when it comes to the crypto space. We've all been battered down, weary. It's like we've been bitten by a shark multiple times, tossed around the water and all that stuff, and that's how it feels. So, I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way too. But it's always good to know that at least the bleeding has stopped and rescue. It's potentially on its way, and Tether seems to be the one that came to the rescue as of today. So if we look at CoinMarketCap right now, we're sitting at $256 billion, $357 billion, right? That's really good. Although we're far from our 300 million that we want to be above, but still 256 million is definitely a lot better than the lowest we've had this year, closer to $200 billion. But the 24-hour volume took a very big spike today. 18.9 billion dollars being traded all over the place today in the overall crypto markets in the last 24 hours, and Bitcoin dominance it's still over 40%, 41.9, close to 42% as of right now. So we want to make sure that hopefully Bitcoin dominance seeds its way to some altcoins so that we can be able to share the love a little bit. But it's really, what we're really seeing here is there's just too many coins. I'm not sure what your opinion is. There are just too many ICOs coming out, left and right, taking in BTC, Ethereum pairs. I wish they would take in dollars, right? If they take in dollars or fiat currency for their ICOs, then that would be better, because they're not going to dump those Ethereum or Bitcoin on us when they need to cash out. But right now there's just an oversaturation of projects, I feel, is in the space, which is sort of, we're spreading too thin. We're spread too thin overall. We're wide and we're not going into deep. But if you look at the overall space, like I said, everything, pretty much everything is in the green today. Some coins did better than others. I know that like Theta, Cortex, Populus has been down in the dumps a little bit, and it saw some pickup today. So that's always great news. Golem, again, it's also been in the dumps recently, and it's sort of hit a good recovery point. A lot of these are utility tokens, utility-based cryptocurrencies that have a lot of value outside of the currency exchanges that they have. Because they use them to access the network. Populus is an invoicing financial crypto. Golem is more like a technical shared internet type of thing, so shared network. So that's always good to see some of these coins showing a lot of bullish momentum, double digit increases. And some of the losers today, of course, like Redcoin, Moac, Loom Network, Factom, Tron, Dash, Monacoin, Monero, they sort of took a little bit of a continuous hiccup. Redcoin and Moac more than the others, but definitely still, I mean, out of the top 100, having less than 10 coins in the red is always bullish news. So let's get right into Bitcoin analysis right now. So if we look at Bitcoin, we're looking at Bitfinex's 1-day chart right now. As you can see, we drew out this line. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Oops. There, I deleted the... Let me delete this as well, since we already passed those things. We don't really need those anymore. So what we were talking about yesterday is we wanted to end on a green candle today. This was the candle with the long tail or wick here, right? And it opened in the green today. There was some, excuse me, there was some rejection right here in the 6,250 area, 6,200 area. And it seems like that resistance level is still keeping us from moving back up. This 8-day EMA is keeping us down right now. We haven't been able to push through above it, but still, higher highs, lower highs is always what we want to see. If we look at the lower time frame, I was curious. If you look at the 15-minute, we've formed a. Let me just show you here. So if we look at the 15-minute, it looks like we have formed a. I mean, we broke through this resistance line that we were talking about the last couple of days that we weren't able to break through, right? This particular 6,200 line, and we're trading right above that. But we are forming, or we formed a reverse head and shoulder pattern, which is a very bullish sign as far as the patterns are concerned. And it's always any bullish sign that we can see in the market today is something that we're going to take, right? Any symbols, any indication that we're turning bullish is always a good sign for all of us, because like I said, we've been battered and bruised these past couple, this last 6 months or so, hitting really hard. And a lot of people have been able to make a lot of money because of shorting positions, but a lot of the bulls have been hurt really bad. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, just right now, it turned red a little bit today earlier, but right now, I think because of the Asian market is already trading, as of right now, we're back in seeing it in the greens. If we look at the RSI, guys, I want to look at the 1 day because it's a better indication for us long term where it could potentially be headed. Let me just delete these lines right here. As you can see, we've diverged. I mean, we've converged bullishly again right here. So the selling momentum has dropped. As you can see, I always like seeing these lines when it's forming like that, when there's not a lot of selling pressure on the way. And we're seeing some good bullish momentum and confluences because of the green candle, day candle that we're experiencing right now. But we still need for that to go up a little bit more so that we can get better confirmations. But some of the resistances that we're waiting for yesterday were already broken, and I feel this is a good opportunity right now where it stands. Of course, like I always say, we don't know exactly if this is going to hold. There's a lot of reasons why sometimes the markets drops that are just out of any technicals that we can be able to look into. But if we just look at the technicals right now, it seems like we are in a good spot right now. Not a great spot, but a better spot than we have been since the last couple of days. And if we look at the RSI levels, guys, let me just we're getting out of that oversold level. Every time we get our head above that water, that 30 line oversold level, it's always good. We have quite a ways to be able to get out, but I like that long way to go because of the fact that it means there's a lot of upward momentum that we can be able to pick up. So there's a long way for us to go, and potentially that could be a catalyst for a good bull run again. You know, not a massive bull run that we all want, but at least some positive movement. If we can be able to break some of the, the overall pattern this year has been lower lows, right? We want to be able to break through at least that last form of resistance here. That's where we want to be able to see it. Let me zoom out here real quick. First, we want to be able to get over this resistance right here. This about 6,800 line, get up here to about 7,700, break through that as well, and then get above this 200-day exponential moving average. And then we want that to have a golden cross, where basically the long, the 200-day EMA and the 55-day EMA flips. And we want that 200-day EMA to be supporting that 55-day EMA. So that's what we're looking for right now on Bitcoin. So, if you are holding all your positions, keep a watchful eye on where the markets are going to be headed in the next couple hours, and see potentially look at the lower time frames, because the larger time frames right now are already showing some positive signs. Just keep an eye on those lower time frames, and there may be some scalping opportunities, some day trading opportunities that you can be able to get into if you are trading Bitcoin specifically. So if we look at Ethereum right now, it's pretty similar to what we see in Bitcoin. We also formed on the lower time frame, we also formed somewhat of a reverse. Sorry, I got too low here. Right, we also formed a head and shoulder pattern right here, although it's dropped in the last 30 minutes or so. We're down back to 457 right now. It seems like the resistance levels that we are seeing here are within the 470 price line, and we can't seem to get above that line. If we look at the 1-day chart here, we can see that this 470 line right here, I drew up that used to be former support line, which is acting as a heavy resistance right now, since we dropped below it yesterday, and we're having a hard time picking up and getting above that line right now. And we needed to break past that to be able to get some confirmations of where Ethereum could be headed next, because like I said, Ethereum has not taken as bad of beating as Bitcoin in the last couple days. It hasn't really gone to its 2018 lows yet. That doesn't mean I'm wanting it to go down there, but I'm just saying from a base of facts is it hasn't hit that since it hit that, back in February or so. That's really a good sign for all of us. If we look at the MACD, it's still heading down. So compared to Bitcoin, when we look at this on the day chart, we saw that this blue line right here has already pointed up and has crossed over the red line. So that's something where basically this is the 26 line, and this is the 12 line that we see here, and it's already, it's continuing its point downwards. It's sort of flattening out. We want it to curve up and sort of show us some more bullish indicators as of in the next couple of hours or so. And the RSI is, came up above the oversold levels and pointed back downwards. So that's never a good sign. It's usually a sign that we can still see downward momentum happen the next couple of days or the next couple of hours or so. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that does not transpire, but I'm just presenting to you guys what the market is presenting to us when we're just reading whatever is here. I'm not trying to predict anything that we don't see on the charts. This is basically where it's going right now. So we're gonna keep an eye on this. Like I said, I have more Ethereum holdings than I do Bitcoin, because of the fact that I do do Solidity projects here and there where I use up some of my Ethereum for those projects, so that I'm holding a lot more Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin. But I know a lot of you hold a lot of Bitcoin as well, so I just want to kind of put that out there. So that's pretty much it on the charts, guys. We're gonna keep an eye on this. We're gonna report again tomorrow what we see, hopefully with the new big money that's coming into the space. Hopefully we get some announcement. I was watching Data Dash's video today. He's been traveling, and I like watching Data Dash because he's a young cat, but he really knows his stuff. I really like him. And he hasn't been putting out a lot of videos because he's been traveling and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of things that are happening in the crypto space. And a lot of the guys in the YouTube haven't been posting as regular. And I understand, people get burnt out because of what's happening. Because, making these videos is one thing, but also trading the markets and getting in on them, investing in coins, researching all that stuff takes a lot of time. I mean, we all work full time. I do work full-time as well, and I can't do this during my day job. So I usually do this, wake up very early in the morning and do my research, do my trades, get my positions, find opportunities, as well as after work, after I spend time with my family, right? So that's something that you guys need to keep in mind as well. So if we look at the news, guys, let's head over there right now. So the first bit of news that I want to be able to share with you guys, I know there's been a lot of craziness that's happening in the last couple hours. I think every news is quite, people get a little bit sensitive about a lot of stuff, because there's a lot of hacks that have been going on. And a lot of people earlier in this afternoon, early evening, were complaining that their Binance balances were showing zero, thinking that their balances have been withdrawn, but it hasn't been the case. They're working on an update, and they started an update about 5 hours ago, right? But they just had an update just about within the last hour or so that they're saying that their system upgrade is taking longer than expected, and CZ is always giving us an update on what's going on with Binance. That's why I really feel comfortable with Binance amongst all the other exchanges out there. I know it's not decentralized, and a lot of people are wanting more decentralized exchanges, but Binance by all means has been really good to all of us. We've been spoiled a little bit because they've taken good care of us. There was earlier this year there was some API manipulation that happened, but they were able to lock it down, and they were able to make people whole, not 100%, but at least to a certain degree. So please, if you are trading on Binance, don't worry, your coins are safe. They're just locking things right now because they're doing some upgrades, and it's always good whenever Binance does upgrades. It's always a great thing. I mean, there's a lot of token swaps that are happening right now that I think they have to prepare for. VeChain is launching their mainnet. I know EOS launched their mainnet, and a few other cryptos are doing the same. So it's just normal for a lot of these big exchanges, especially Binance, because a lot of you guys, a lot of us put our tokens there, and they will swap it from our ERC20 tokens all the way to the mainnet tokens that these projects, these platforms release. So just keep that in mind, and don't get scared of the FUD that could be going around because of that. So the second bit of news, important news that I want to be able to talk to you guys is about this. Ant Financial, which is a division of Alibaba, Jack Ma's company, they're offering remittances from Hong Kong to the Philippines right now. I'm originally from the Philippines, so this is quite great news. I mean, right now it's only in Asia, but it's good use case for the technology nonetheless, right? They said that, and he was talking, Jack Ma was saying that he had a lot of Filipino friends that were asking, hey, you know, can we send remittances using Alipay and all that stuff? And they were able to do it through the blockchain, which took about, I think, 3 seconds to do the testing to be able to send money from Hong Kong to the Philippines. So that's really, really, really good. There was a, I was reading it earlier. Oh yeah, these workers collectively transfer about 4.4 Hong Kong dollars. That's about 561 million annually to their families back home, right? So this is really good because imagine that's over $500 million annually that could be able to get in on our space. At least, even though it's just passing through, that is always a good sign for all of us because it gives credence to a lot of the blockchain capabilities that are still being tested and maximized as of right now. And always, you know, we're always worried that blockchain, because of security, is not as scalable, but this is a very good use case because, you know, using off-chain solutions to be able to provide more practical solutions within the blockchain sphere is always good for all of us, right? So that's really, really great news. The next bit of news that I want to be able to share with you guys is leading venture capital. This was reported on CNBC earlier today. Leading venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz raised its first dedicated crypto fund, right? They're investing aggressively in crypto. They said that they haven't been selling their positions, and they put together about $300 million for their first crypto focused fund. And think about that. In one day, with this, that's 300 million, close to half, I mean, over $250 million coming into our space. That's always a good thing because that's money that's in the sidelines that is coming into the space where we could be able to take advantage of, and another show of use case for blockchain in general. They've been very, very bullish on cryptocurrencies because, you know, they see the potential. I mean, it seems like there seems to be a change here. You know, back in the last parabolic runs of 2017, it seems that a lot of the people that benefited, hopefully you did benefit, but they were massively geared towards retail investors. But it seems now there are a lot of financial people, financial institutions getting in on the space, like we've always talked about in this channel, based on the news that we see all the time, left and right, almost every single day. And I think there's going to be sort of a switch here where more seasoned, sophisticated financial institutions are going to sort of push the retail investors out of the way. And that's why it's important for you to really understand this. You know, if you are invested in Ethereum, Bitcoin, these are proven currencies and projects, cryptocurrencies already. I know there are a lot. I mean, you may not like Ripple, but Ripple has a lot of use case right now, and they're pushing really, really hard. I mean, there's a lot of projects out there that are still unproven. I mean, there's really, really great projects, but there's also a lot of unproven or maybe scammy stuff out there. So just keep in mind that these sophisticated financial investors are not going to put their currencies, their fiat, their investment into scammy coins. Look into them putting their money where the majority of the money, I mean the concentration of market caps are. You know, I can't see them going to like a top 200 coin, top 500 coin and investing in there. Although they could on specific projects that they find value in, but you know, most likely they're going to stay within the top 50, top 20 market cap overall. So just keep that in mind. I know that list is ever evolving. When I got into the space, the top 5, the top 10 have already switched out dramatically, except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have stayed up on the first and second position, but a lot of the other coins have sort of jostled for new positioning overall in the crypto space. So like I said, that doesn't mean that whatever coin is there right now in the top 5 or top 10 or even top 20 are going to remain there for the rest of the year, right? If there's a project that just shows very good promise, it's just going to jump up there. Look at EOS. It wasn't even in that radar, and now it's right above there, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. The last bit of news that I want to be able to share with you guys, and I know this is probably not news to you guys anymore. We always keep track of this. Grant property tokens, $250 million have been printed of USDT or Tether, right? And usually this happens, like we've looked at, I think it was 4 or 5 videos ago when we sort of plotted these dates out when they went ahead and printed, and it seems like it coincided since back in the day, since late last year. You know, went back all the way to I believe November or December of last year when I plotted this on a graph, and it seemed like they would always buy the dips and they would get some recovery after that, you know, and that just shows us that potentially we could see some recoveries as well. I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly what is going to happen, but again, we're always looking for better probabilities, confluences of different factors, both in the TA, also the fundamentals of the overall space in general, to see potentially where the market could be headed. And, you know, seeing like Bitcoin alone, like I said, looking at the charts, it's getting some bullish signs, bullish TA indicators, right? And you couple that with a lot of news about these large financial institutions that are getting in on this space, plus printing of more Tether, despite the fact that we've seen our lowest lows for Bitcoin this year so far. Yesterday, Sunday, when it dipped under, I think it went all the way down to about $5,700, right? And it's back up to about 62.50 right now. So that's really, really good sign. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys found value in today's video. I'm very happy because it's under 30 minutes. I highly respect your time. I know you guys are wanting me to sort of compact all of this information in a short period of time as possible, so I really, really appreciate your support. You know, the subscribers have been growing in this channel. I know there's a lot more of you that are watching these videos that are not subscribing. If you haven't done so, please support this channel by subscribing so that you are notified every time I put out new content, which I try to do on a day-to-day basis to keep you guys updated on the most important things that are happening in this space. I try to condense it into 30 minutes so that you can be able to, you know, maybe when you wake up in this morning, you watch this video. If you're watching this tomorrow morning, you can get a gist of what transpired yesterday and able to get in on some positions potentially in the next day, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until I see you guys on the next video tomorrow, I wish you and your family a success-filled day. Good night, guys. Love you. Bye.